Okay, I'm recording. Okay, so for those who weren't in the discussion we just had in the room and watching the recording, we're going to have a shorter class today. And let's focus on connecting with the breath and getting into the breath easier or better, or however you want to label that. So we'll do less movement than normal. We'll do less number of poses than normal, but still super effective. And the whole time, keep in mind the connection between you and your body and your breathing and your mind or mentality or the way you're thinking. They're all connected, and the point of these classes is to just help you observe those connections more and more frequently and more easily, and then help you decide what to do about the sensations you come up to. So everyone find a tall seat, whatever that looks like for you, legs crossed or legs long, legs on a chair out ahead of you, whatever. Roll your shoulders a few times. Give yourself some space in the side of your neck below the earlobes. And next time your shoulders are down, keep them down. Keep your elbows bent, hands resting on your chair or on your lap, especially if you're struggling with your breath or with an emotion or something today. You might choose one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. I find this really grounding because it just immediately brings in a lot of sensation in the body without changing much and helps me pay attention. It might help you pay attention too. And then push down into whatever's touching underneath you. Reach up through the crown of your head. Lock your attention at something ahead of you and slightly down, almost like you're taking your chin down and back, like pressing your head very gently into an invisible wall behind you, just for more length. And then fix your gaze on something ahead of you that's not moving and start to consciously relax the muscles around your eyeballs and your eyebrows. Relax your jaw. You might swallow, let your tongue come off the roof of your mouth and cover your tongue in saliva in the bottom of your mouth. Okay, relax your ears even. Relax the bottoms of your feet and the palms of your hands, 1% more. These are all little tricks, manipulating the sensory organs so that you can give a signal to the nervous system, hey, I'm safe and it's okay to approach a meditative state of mind now, which is what we're always trying to approach. Good. And mentally separate yourself now from what you were doing and come fully now into what you are doing, which is just sitting here in a chair or on the floor. And become aware of everything that you see, whether your eyes are open or shut. You don't have to label anything, just general shapes and colors. Notice the windows and the doors around you. Notice the lights and the shadows. Notice the noises in your space. Notice the air around your body. Notice the air on your skin. Notice where clothing is covering your skin. Notice the pressure of your body on whatever's holding you up. And without changing anything, notice your breathing. Notice the qualities of your breath. That means avoiding judgment words like good or bad, and instead focusing on sensations like, is it smooth or choppy? Is it quick or slow? Is there a sense of ease or labor in my breath? Is there a texture or a sound or a temperature? Notice where in your body you sense your breath the biggest. Good. Keep Ardha Drishti through the rest of class as best you can. Ardha meaning half, Drishti means focus. So half attention on your breath, half attention on the physicality of your body as best you can and as often as you can through the remaining 15, 20 minutes that we have together. So when you're ready, let your hands come down to your lap or to your chair. Open your eyes if they were shut. You can take in the room again. It's normal for the quality of the light to seem a little different after you ground and center, so just be aware if that sense is there for you. And then scoot forward towards the edge of your seat if you were all the way back, just so you have more room in front, behind you, and to your sides. So feet firm on the ground, maybe if it's possible, ankles in line with your knees, knees in line with your hips, shoulders in line with your hips, head stacked right on top of your spine. So that's not to point anything out about your posture. It's just an attempt to let the bones do as much work as possible so the muscles can focus on other kinds of movement. Okay, so really push into the floor. Maybe push into the balls of your feet, but lift all the toes up off the floor. And then see if you can spread out your toes as wide as you can, like an extra set of hands or monkey paws or something. And then put all of your toes back down on the floor and really grip the floor with all 10 toes if you have them all. Good. And then keep pressing into the floor. Also pull in and up on your belly and your pelvic organs. Squeeze your shoulders gently behind you, and then let your arms dangle out of your shoulder sockets. And you might even reach out, squeeze your fingers together like Barbie hands, and then really squeeze away from the shoulders so you're pointing down towards the floor. So if I were to look at your body, I kind of see a triangle. The peak is at the top above your head, and then the arms are forming the sides, and the line would just keep going down to the floor. This is called Tadasana, mountain pose. You could do it seated or standing or lying down on the floor. You just create that mountain-like shape. Good. And stay here for a moment, fully engaged. It's deceptively difficult. It looks easy just looking. You look like you're just sitting. But really reach past the fingertips. Really push into the ground. Really pull in and up with the belly. Really squeeze the shoulders, but still relax your face and keep your breath moving in and out. It can be more shallow, that's okay, but keep it moving. Notice for another round what it feels like to sit this way. And then identify your right arm. And next time you breathe in, reach your right arm around and up. And exhale, lower it down. Just following along with your breath. Do the other arm too. So inhale, left arm reaches around and up. It's okay to keep the elbow bent or make it really straight. Doesn't matter. Do 2 more on each side, following your own cadence. So don't let your arms get to the top until your lungs are full. And don't let your arms get to the bottom until your lungs are so empty. Notice if your body likes to move quicker or slower than your breath. It's probably one or the other. See if you can match them up as closely as possible. It doesn't mean anything. It's just something to notice. When you're done, meet yourself back in mountain pose, Tadasana. Breathe in and out like you're filling yourself up like a glass of water. Fill up from the bottom to the top. And exhale top to bottom. Empty the water. Good. One more round like that. Fill in really big. Fill up your belly, then the middle of your body, then the top of your body. And then exhale, release the top, and then the middle, and then the bottom. Good. Inhale, reach both arms out and up. And stay. You might look up. Some bodies like to keep the hands separated. Some like to bring the fingers together and make one big palm. Push down into your feet again, belly in and up again. Reach past your fingertips. Lift your shoulders up and away from your hips. Breathe in for even more length, like you're going to touch the ceiling. Exhale, fold forward. So you can release your hands, bring your belly and your chest towards your legs, and either let your arms and your head hang heavy, or put your elbows on your knees and cradle your head. Especially helpful to breathe here in the back of your body since you're kind of smushing the front of your body. If it gets uncomfortable, always have the option of opening the knees more out to the side to give your belly more room. I like that a lot. Yeah. Remind yourself that the lungs are physically bigger in the back of you and breathe as if you are trying to force all the air into the back lungs. Good. Next time you breathe in, slowly start to roll yourself all the way up to a tall spine again. But really take your time with it. Tail first, low back, middle back stacks on top, upper back stacks on top. Finally, when you get to the top, big couple shoulder rolls here and stack your head right on top of your spine again. If your legs were more wide, maybe take them closer together again so you're more in line or neutral. Good. Let your arms come back down. Identify your right arm again. And this time, inhale, reach your right arm around and up. Exhale, lean over now towards the left. You could reach the arms in kind of opposite directions and lean over. Focus on making that big C-shaped curve in the rib cage. You could take your left hand, cross it over to the opposite knee or thigh so you can kind of hang on to your pants or your leg, and then you won't feel so much like tipping over. So do whichever one makes you feel more comfortable. But notice where your heart is pointing. If it's pointing up towards the sky or pointing down towards the floor, either way, see if you can point it more front, directly ahead of you. See if you can breathe bigger into the sides of your ribs for your last round here. Push into your feet, belly in and up. Inhale, come all the way back up through center. Exhale, lower your right arm. And take a breath in neutral. It's okay to feel that whooshing feeling. That's normal. Let everything come back to neutral. And then when you're ready, inhale the other arm around and up. Bent elbow, straight elbow, doesn't matter. Push down from the waist down, reach up from the waist up. Next time you exhale to any degree, lean over towards the right. Big round shape in the sides of your ribs. Good. And then you can decide what to do with your arms. You all kind of know what you're doing here at this point. Find something that feels good, and then find something that feels less good, more interesting. And then see if you can soften into that and make it more good. Maybe that means backing out a little bit. Maybe it means trying less. Last big breath here. And then push into the floor, belly in and up. Inhale, come all the way back through center. Exhale, lower your left hand. Let the whooshing feeling happen. Everything comes back to neutral. Inhale, fill up from the bottom to the top. And exhale, top to bottom. Good. Inhale, bring both arms out to a big T shape. Exhale, twist to the right and let the hands come down to your legs and maybe somewhere on the floor or your chair or the table if you're at a table. Even though you're twisting over, still look for length through the crown of the head. Each time you exhale, squeeze through the middle of your body like you're trying to wring out a washcloth and get a drip of water out, like really tight. Squeeze your organs in the middle of your belly. Last breath here. Maybe you look over your back shoulder if your neck has nothing to say about it. And then inhale all the way back to the center. Reach both arms in both directions. Exhale, twist to the other side. Let your arms come down just for support, not to pull it or force your twist to get deeper. Inhale for length. Exhale, squeeze your belly. 2 more like that. Maybe you look over your back shoulder if you tried it on the other side. And then when you're ready, inhale back through the center, reach in both directions. And exhale, let your hands come down. Good. Maybe another shoulder roll or two if you created some heat or tension up in the upper body. Good. And then scoot all the way back in your seat so that you feel fully supported. Even the low back, and maybe if the middle or upper back are touching, whatever's touching, press back into it. And we're going to end class with just focusing for a longer period of time on a breath technique. This is called the 3-part breath because you treat your lungs as if they're in 3 parts, which we know it's not true, right? And just quick anatomy so you know what we're talking about. So when I say breathe into your belly, your lungs don't go into your belly, but we have a diaphragm. And when you breathe in, it pulls down and smushes your belly organs, and that's what makes the sensation of the belly getting bigger, right? Because it is kind of smushing it into a smaller amount of space. That's why you poof out and then exhale, you poof in because the diaphragm lifts and gives you more room for all of your organs. So when we practice the 3-part breath, we actually treat the belly like it's part one. And it's not just the belly, it's the sides of your hips and it's the low back. Okay, 360, like a glass of water. Everywhere you look, you have a glass of water, not just from one direction. Middle section is from your belly button to your nipple line, and it's also the sides of your ribs, and it's also the middle of your back. And then section 3 is breast tissue to probably, I mean, you'll feel it maybe even up into your head and neck and shoulder area, but the lungs stop just under the clavicles. But if you were to push in just between the neck and the clavicle here, I mean, you will be prodding lung tissue. It might even be uncomfortable to breathe in and to apply a lot of pressure there. Excuse me. You also could prod underneath here and be pushing into rib, but I mean, the lungs are everywhere. So the tissue, imagine it filling up your container all the way up into the shoulders, right under your armpits, and the upper back as well. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So we're going to breathe in that order. 1, 2, 3. Short retention at the top, which means just holding it, but without locking the glottis, which is that thing you can stop water from going down the wrong tube if it works right. Sometimes it goes the opposite. Try not to lock your glottis at the top. Try to just so you can still breathe in and out. And you'll know you're doing it if when you exhale, you don't go, ugh. Okay, if you do that, you're holding your glot. So just keep those kinds of things in mind. Also, don't worry if you're not doing it right. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so come into a tall spine, empty your lungs completely, like squeeze the air out. And then inhale, 1, low belly, low back, 2, mid body, 3, upper back all the way full. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Belly last. Good. Again, inhale, belly, mid body, upper body. Slight hold. Exhale, upper body, mid body, low. Good. Go back and forth now at your own pace. Really give attention and time to each section of your breath. Notice what it feels like to hold at the top or at the bottom, even if it's just for a millisecond. You can do this with hands on your chair, hands on your lap, or hands on your physical body. The next couple rounds, see if you can make the breath even deeper and exhale even longer than normal. One more round like that, biggest breath of the day, just noticing. Finish the round that you're on. And then return back to your natural breath. And observe anything that's changed so far. If nothing has changed, just be aware of that. Good. I'll invite you to bring your hands together in a prayer-like position. This is called Anjali Mudra. You can push your fingertips into the center of your chest, or you could stack your hands here and look down or bow down towards your heart and your hands. My teacher says that this is bowing down to the wisdom below the brain, the kind of wisdom that isn't knowledge that you could collect from anywhere, but the wisdom that's innate in the body and the breath that speaks to you at all times. So give yourself a thank you just for paying attention today. And remember, you have a body, but you're not just your body. You have a mind, but you're not just your thoughts. And you have emotions, but you're not just your feelings. When you're ready, your hands can come down, let your eyes flutter open and up. And class is over. Thank you for coming.
Thanks.
Of course. And a note about three-part breath is you can do it at any time, anywhere. And we teachers like to encourage folks to do that in different positions. So it's interesting and can teach you things about your own breath. If you do that sitting, it feels really different laying on your back, obviously, because you're pushing on your back. It feels really different laying on your front. It feels different standing and when you're walking. And you can do this in all different positions and compare the sensations to each other. And it might help you find the most comfortable for you. And then it's something you could start incorporate into your daily practice or, if a lot of people say three-part breath because it has a cooling and elongating effect. It might help reduce stress, cool you off sort of feeling. So people like to do this before bed or in bed. So if you're feeling stressed or like you're not able to get tired, it might be something that you incorporate into your life. Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone have a good day.
Yeah.